Okay, my name is Quail. I'm from Atlassian, or I should say, Yara, from Atlassian. Sorry, I'm going to be talking about which web framework should you choose. Because there are a few web frameworks to choose from. There's quite a few. And, well, what do they do? I'm talking too loudly. Okay, so your web app is your server and all the content delivered to your browser. But writing server apps is really hard, and displaying crap in browsers can be really troublesome. So web frameworks try and cope with that trouble. But how do you possibly choose? Well, what are some of the things they have in common? They all do URL to code mapping. They all do post to POJO mapping. They're all involved in HTML assembly, and they deal with the separation of logic between between logic and presentation. And there are some frameworks that provide some level of POJO to database mapping or CRUD support. So if they all support something like that, then how do you choose? Well, choosing the web framework is like choosing gelato. You have to choose a flavour, and you have to consider the flavours that you like, and exclude the flavours that you don't like. And if you're lucky, you get to pick some extra toppings. I always go for the waffle. So what are our framework flavours? Well, let's look at URL to code mapping. Now, in many frameworks, it's fairly vanilla, but you can do more exotic things with your URL. Some web frameworks are code-centric, so like Click and Wicket and GWT. Some people love the taste of that, and some people can't stand it. You can also map URLs in an XML-centric way. Some people absolutely love that, and some people really can't stand that. The other extra toppings you can get are dealing with login, dealing with authorization, dealing with session management. A new one is continuation support, which can be pretty tasty. Another thing you consider with your web framework is doing post to POJO mapping. Now, there are a range of taste sensations here, a real smorgasbord. The idea is that you want to avoid as much heavy lifting as possible, and that covers a lot of ground. You've got validate, you've got type conversion, validation, form population, complicated setters, null object creation. There's really a lot of heavy lifting that a post to POJO mapper can do, but they all taste different. Okay, another flavour is HTML assembly. The vanilla flavour here is JSP, but almost no one seems to like that. All the traditional flavours are page scripting approaches. I need to talk fast because I'm running out of time. And so we have JSP, tags, velocity, free markup. There's also they're all quite popular, but there's a newer thing coming around which are component-based and declaration-based, things like Wicket, Click, JSF, if that's your kind of thing. Some frameworks are Ajax enabled, some are Ajax friendly, and some don't provide much heavy lifting support at all. And for something exotic, you can always go JWT, which is kind of more like swing than anything else. You can look at CRUD support. Now, you've got JWC and Hibernate, but there's frameworks like Rails, which is not Java, or Rails, which is, and they really do a whole lot of heavy lifting. So, which framework do you choose? The problem is, you don't know if you're going to like a flavour, or you don't know if you're going to hate it until you've tasted it. Now, you can taste them all, but tasting them all isn't always good for your waistline or your project timeline. You do have the choice of forgoing dessert altogether, which is not a common preference, but it is a very lean one. If you're maintaining an existing app, you do have to put up with the dessert that people ordered before you got there. You don't have a choice. Or you could really stop focusing on dessert and make sure that your entrees and mains are up to scratch. So, which framework should you choose?